Hey everyone, this is Rick, and welcome back to The Seed, the Startup Journey, a podcast sharing the origin stories of amazing entrepreneurs and their companies in short, less than 20-minute episodes. Today, I'll be interviewing the founder and CEO of BizzBee Solutions, Dancho Dimkov. Dancho started as a freelancer and a business consultant. He is now a serial entrepreneur running BizzBee Solutions, a company that is helping entrepreneurs become startups, startups become SMEs, and SMEs to achieve exponential growth. Hey Dancho, to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself as well as your company BizzBee Solutions?
Hello, Rick. Nice to having me here on the podcast. Uh, that is a very long story, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. BizzBee Solution is not my first company. I actually had several before, but as a serial entrepreneur, I actually started finding a pattern on what works and what doesn't. So when it comes to BizzBee Solution starting, I've realized that I know the mistakes that I've done before, and the only way for my next company to be successful is just to apply all the knowledge. So BizzBee is actually a bootstrapped company, so it doesn't have any funding, and it started with 4 interns only. So it was me, my wife, and 4 interns, and just a few computers from my credit card. So we didn't have some budgets or funding. Everything was just starting with as minimum money as possible, the entrepreneurial way. We've started targeting entrepreneurs at the beginning, where our two primary services were market research and business planning. So the idea here was that if an entrepreneur or a company has a fantastic idea, or at least it thinks it's fantastic, and they need someone to check it for them, to do feasibility study or a market research and to see how good is this idea, and if it has the potential to actually create a complete business plan and see how they can commercialize or monetize that business idea. So in short, that's the short story. The long story, we're gonna need several beers and a long conversation to cover all the aspects.
Can I also ask about your shirt? Like you have a Superman shirt on, like is that part of your role at BizzBee?
Yeah, the Superman was an inside joke, but slowly it actually became a team, because if you check in my Skype or Zoom, my camera photo is actually a Superman. Because as we grow BizzBee, I had to be involved in too many departments, solving too many problems. And first internally, we were joking like, okay, we need a Superman, and then I come in and inquire a bit and solve a problem. Now I have several Superman shirts, it's not just one. And I'm walking around with my Superman shirt and actually trying to help people around in the office.
I love that. And so I want to also dive a little bit deeper into your startup journey.
Sure.
So you started as a freelancer back in 2011, and I believe in 2015 you were doing it full time while traveling around the world with your wife. So to me that sounds like a super cool lifestyle. So I was wondering like what made you decide to stop doing that?
When I started with the freelancing world, I was having a full-time job within a software development company. In parallel, I actually started the freelance world, where I was working on Upwork, on all the freelance platforms which are online.
Mhm.
And at some point, I've realized that it's not just I'm making more money after work, but it's actually I enjoy the work that I do after work. So it was a switching point where I said, okay, I have to quit my job and focus on this freelancing world. And I made the right choice. I mean, at the beginning, it was very interesting because when you start working freelance, you can actually work from anywhere. I mean, I had clients from the States, from Europe, from Asia, even from the Gulf countries, but all that is online. As long as you have a good mic or a camera, you can just work from anywhere.
Right.
And I actually used that opportunity because I started my digital nomad period in my life, where me and my wife were actually traveling a lot. So we did like 2 months travel around Europe, where we started with Macedonia, Serbia. We went to Germany, Austria. We went to Netherlands, Belgium. We spent some time in France, which was also nice. And it's quite interesting. I mean, you get up, you still need to work, but then you can do half of the day to do some sightseeing and then go back at night and do some extra work as well.
Mhm.
Although it sounds very attractive, there are some downsides with the nomad life. I mean, there was a period that I actually got sick for a bit, nothing serious, but enough to put me in bed for a few days. And during that time, nor me nor my wife could actually keep on working. And that is a scary thing. So if one of you gets sick, then you cannot keep on bringing the money. And we were also starting to look at building a family because I was like 20 something. And at that age, recently married, we said that, okay, but if my wife is going to have a baby, then I need to also slow down. And that's how we actually got the epiphany that we need a company. And that's how actually BizzBee was born. And also my son, Metodia, was also in that plan.
Gotcha. So, what has been the most challenging moment for you so far in running your own business?
For me, the biggest challenge was actually try to find clients outside from the freelance platforms. It was tough. I was really used that, okay, you just go on Upwork, you start looking at the job post or the gigs that are available, and you just try to do some filter. This is available for me. However, as I actually grow to 30 people, in-house, full-time employee, freelancing was not enough. I mean, freelancing is also quite a competitive market where the person that offers a lower bid actually wins. So we had to figure out a way how we can find clients outside of the freelancing world. And this is how we invented the outreach campaign that we are currently even offering as a service, because I've realized that if I'm having this problem, there should be a lot of companies that have the same problem. And that actually proved to be right. There are a lot of companies that really don't know how to find clients. And my second biggest problem was that I had zero in marketing. I mean, again, we were doing freelancing gigs. I don't need to advertise. And then when we said, okay, we need to find clients outside, then we've realized everything that we should have done the last 3 years, but we didn't do it. And that now, like it or not, we need to start from scratch on the marketing, but we're now catching up.
And kind of on the flip side of that, what would you say was the best or most satisfying moment for you?
First, most important, becoming a father. I mean, when I started BizzBee, within several months, my wife got pregnant. So I actually started in the right spot. So I had 9 months to make the company stable. So actually, when I became a father, I could take a few months away from the company in order to make sure that the baby is fine. And my second business excitement is that because we're working with a lot of clients, I'm so excited when I can hear them that they actually closed a new client. So we are helping them. We are reaching out to other potential clients on their behalf. And we don't want to stop here. We want to set up the call, but we also want to hear that our clients are saying, okay, I've actually started closing new clients. Then I know that it's not just me, but actually the entire process and the entire company is doing their job.
And to kind of go along with that, right now you've helped over 350 clients with business planning and market research. So, what would you say is the number one problem that these businesses face?
Well, they face a lot of problems, honestly. No, it's interesting when we're talking with entrepreneurs. I have different type of entrepreneurs. There are people that just like overnight got an idea. Wow, I have an idea. I'll actually become a millionaire in just a few months. And my vision is to conquer the world. And I'm like, okay, good luck with that. And there are other entrepreneurs that are actually like, I've worked 20 to 30 years in the sector, and now I've decided to start a company. And then I've realized that they have the expertise, they have the expectations because they have the experience. And those two type of entrepreneurs are completely different. Maybe because the first one is that they believe that I have the idea, that's it. I don't need to do execution or anything. I will just make them and everybody will come in. While the other type of entrepreneurs, they are aware that it is a lot of headaches. I mean, it's not one problem. They need to solve every business problem that they are facing in order to be successful as a company.
Are there any qualities or specific skills that you found present in the founders that you've helped that you would say was essential to the success of their companies?
I could put it in one word. Actually, it's passion. Passion is the key for me, whether a company will be successful or not. As I told you, if you just had a new idea and you just want to conquer the world and that's it, that excitement will disappear in a month or two or in 6 months. However, if you're passionate about what you're doing, then it's not a month or two. You want to do this as a lifetime activity. And I think the passion is actually the thing that is sorting who will preserve, whether they will give up at the first sign of problem, because there will be a lot of problems. There isn't a company that doesn't have a problem. And I've seen that the people that are passionate are the ones that are continuing beyond the problem rather than, okay, I've tried, I got to a problem, it doesn't work, I quit, that's it. And the second thing that I also saw is that there is a type of people that are aware that they need help. And when you're starting a business, you're saying, I'm not expert in everything. So I need external people to help me. I need probably some mentors. I need probably some guides. I even probably need an external agency to help me in particular areas. Because at the end of the day, you cannot do everything on your own.
And I kind of want to follow up on the passion part. So like I've been hearing that word a lot, especially in all the interviews that I've been doing. But how exactly should a person go about finding his or her passion?
When it comes to passion, you need to do a step back and actually reflect on what you're currently doing. Passion, if you ask me, by definition, is what you do when you have free time. And from there, you're doing it because you enjoy it. You enjoy it. It means that you're not looking at it as a work, but you're actually going to keep on doing it. I'm really passionate about outreach and self-support. I mean, if you ask me, I can work 18 hours straight, and instead of feeling exhausted, I'm so excited of all the things that I've managed to accomplish. If you're an artist, you're not just painting and then after 3 hours, like, I'm so exhausted, I need a break, but you love what you're doing and you don't even realize that the time is passing by. So if you really want to find your passion, yeah, you can try several different activities, but usually you should look back in your life in retrospective and just try to see what activities did you actually do when you had the free time. And those are the activities that you should just look at from a business perspective. Okay, if I really love what I'm doing this, how can I actually grow it into a business? People love games and they love playing it. And there are people that are so passionate that they start making a living out of it, whether they're competing on international events or now with the live stream, they're just doing what they love. They're playing games, they're streaming, there are millions of people watching, they get sponsors, they get money. So at the end of the day, is what you love doing in your free time, that's the thing that you actually move it into a business.
Got it. And then what advice would you give to someone like me who is still a student, but I'm interested in entrepreneurship and wants to potentially start something of my own in the future?
It's a simple good luck. No, but honestly, having the idea, figuring out the passion is important, but working on it is actually essential. I know too many people because, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's not just on a commercial basis, but even after work, when I get with my friends, they're like, but you're an entrepreneurship consultant. I have a fantastic idea. I'm going to do this, and this. What do you think? And I'm like, okay, sounds good, but how much time are you willing to commit to this idea in order to make it a reality? And they're like, I'll just hire someone or a virtual assistant or someone to do it for me. And I'm usually good luck then. If you're really not committed in your business, there's no way that a business can grow on its own. And the second thing I actually wanted to share is that having a network is a key. I also made the mistake because when I started my business, I was too much inside focused, where building HR, building services, building people and everything. Well, then I've realized that I'm too much in my own head. I actually need to start reaching out to other management consultants, which now I'm actually even within the Macedonian network of consultants, to start exchanging ideas, start getting to different people. And then you're open to new ideas on how to improve your services, or even you're open to new opportunities, because when you talk to people, they will tell you information, someone else will give you another information. And when you combine, you actually are a better person.
For sure. And do you have any book or podcast recommendations?
The biggest book in my area, because I'm into B2B outreach and prospecting, is by Aaron Ross. And his book is actually Predictable Revenue. He made a book 10 years ago that is like a Bible for the outreach and for looking for clients. And I would definitely recommend it to anyone that actually want to proactively find clients rather just waiting at home for the phone to ring. And when it comes to the podcast, I'm not a big podcast listener, but I actually have one podcaster that I cannot keep up to listen all of his podcasts. So I'm a very big fan of Russell Brunson. I don't know if you know him. He's the founder of ClickFunnels. And I've heard about him 2 years ago. I loved what he preaches because he is completely the other way from Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is you're proactively chasing them, while Russell is build a funnel, create automated process, bring some traffic, and then start converting. And 2 years ago, I loved it so much that I actually went back from his first podcast he ever created, which was probably 10 years ago, and I started listening one by one by one by one by one, which I'm still trying to catch up. He has too much content producing on a daily basis that I really cannot catch up on that time.
That's awesome. And before we end, I also prepared some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So the first one is, if you could have a superpower, what would you choose?
Superman, that was an easy one.
Yep.
His main purpose was to help people. And I think that my purpose was similar. It's just that I believe that my purpose is to help companies to help people. That's the only difference.
And then what time do you usually wake up every morning?
5 a.m., unfortunately, but it is usually expected that entrepreneurs have a lazy life. They'll get up, they work for 3 hours and make millions. Well, I don't believe in that. I wake up at 5 o'clock. I do some working. I do some exercising. I do some reading in order to grow personally. Then I have a 3-year baby boy, which needs taking care of. Need to take him to the kindergarten. All that before 8 a.m. where we get to work. So instead of me as an owner, get up at 9 and go at work at 11, I actually need to be at least 3 steps ahead of everyone.
Awesome. And what's one thing you cannot live without?
I think that would be a beer after work. That's my switching from I'm no longer working, I'm now home and I want to enjoy with my family and I want to play with my kid.
And if you are to start another company, what industry would it be in?
Oof, nice one. Well, I've tried agriculture, I've tried consulting, I've also tried software development. So if I actually start a new company, it would be either into the software as a service model, which is you build the software and then you provide monthly subscription, or into the online content development. I see a lot of buzzes going on about online coaching, online training, online thing. And I believe that utilizing all the expertise and insight can be tailored into an online program, which is really a company on its own.
And so this is the last question, which is, what is the best advice you've ever received?
I think I have a quote that I live by. And I think that I don't know who said it. That's a good thing. I should check it. But the quote was in terms of if you want to do something, you'll find a way. But if you don't want to do it, you'll find an excuse. And it's really my mantra when I'm talking with clients, when I'm talking with employees, with everybody, because then I've realized whether they actually want it or doesn't want it. And it's interesting when you talk with people, you need to do this and they're like, but this will happen, or what about this, or what about that, or what about that, which is a lot of excuse. And in my head, I'm saying it's not about the excuse, it's something behind that it's not feasible. So I need to actually address it before going forward. And it's same with the clients, because we are teaching entrepreneurs that if they really want to do it, they'll find a way. There will be a lot of obstacles, but they'll figure it out and find a way. So it's really a quote that is stuck in my head for actually 5 years already. And I tell it around and I really believe that's the way.
I love that as well. So that's it for today's interview. Thank you, Dancho, for taking the time to do this. And I wish you the best of luck and stay safe. Yeah,
thank you very much, Rick, for having me. I really am inspired by what you're trying to do and how you're actually trying to help entrepreneurs. So I really want to come here and give my bit of advice, and hopefully some of the entrepreneurs will listen it and try to stay safe and try to avoid some of the mistakes that I've personally done it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to see our takeaways from this interview, as well as the latest previews and highlights for our future episodes, make sure you follow us on Instagram. You can also find our episodes on Apple or Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. As always, if there is any question you would like to see asked during our interviews, or if there's a particular industry or company you would like to see, leave a comment below. Finally, make sure you subscribe and share this podcast with your friends so that we can grow our seed of innovation and creativity together. With that, I'll see you next time.